poormanspoetry.com podcast.
Welcome back, lyricism lovers, to another episode of the poormanspoetry.com podcast. This is episode 81, and today we're going to be doing a lyrical masterclass on Ice Spice and her new single, Munch. Ice Spice is one of the hottest new female rappers in the game. She resides from the BX, Bronx, New York, and her latest single, Munch, has been making a lot of viral noise on the internet. She recently started turning down shows for $4K and an increase to booking price to $15K, stating that yesterday's price is not today's price. Word to Fat Joe. So let's jump right into it, man. Ice Spice, Munch, lyrical masterclass. Let's go.
You thought I was feeling you? No.
Let's pause it right there. We starting right in with it. Ice Spice states, "You thought I was feeling you?" That is actually an example of a hyperbole. A hyperbole is a phrase or a statement that is over-exaggerated to make that thing sound out of context. It's a ridiculous overstatement that is not meant to be taken literally. So, as you heard there, she said, "You thought I was feeling you?" That's an example of a hyperbole. Let's keep it going.
That nigga Munch, nigga eater, he ate it for lunch.
She says, that nigga Munch, nigga eater, he ate it for lunch. So first, let's break down where the word munch comes from. Munch was actually introduced to us in 1970, and it was sold in the USA, originally known as a Snickers Munch peanut brittle bar. It is made by the candy company Mars, and it was made up of crunchy peanut brittle bites. Ice Spice, she uses munch as a negative connotation towards men, sort of saying that his only existence is performing oral sex on women and getting nothing in return. Now let's break down what a negative connotation is. A negative connotation is a feeling or concept that is implied with a word or thing that is either negative or positive, but in this situation, it's definitely negative. There's also an example of imagery in there. The definition of imagery is the use of words to describe a situation to create images in the mind of a listener. So let's go back to the bar. She said, that nigga Munch, nigga eater, he ate it for lunch. So yeah, there's the imagery there. She's stating that he ate it for lunch and that he's an eater. Let's keep it going.
My baddie, I get what I want. Like, you thought I was feeling you? No, I was feeling you.
Okay. She said, "I'm a baddie, I get what I want." So yeah, she thinks she's a baddie, and she's stating that because he's a munch, she's getting exactly what she wants. Let's keep playing the song.
That nigga Munch, nigga eater, he ate it for lunch. Bitch, I'm a baddie, I get what I want. Like, bitch, say bad, let's keep it a beam. No, they be mad, I be on the scene.
Okay. Ice Spice says, "This ain't bad, let's keep it a bean. No, they mad, I be on the scene." There's an example of consonants in there within that first bar. Ice Spice states, "This ain't bad, let's keep it a bean." The definition of consonants is the repetition of consonants within poetry. So, the consonants there is the B's. Bitches ain't bad, let's keep it a bean. The B in bitches, the B in bad, and the B in bean. Let's keep it going with the verse.
That's too fat, can't fit in a jean. Use my stitch, but it's not what it seems.
Okay. In that bar, she says, "That's too fat, can't fit in a jean. You is my stitch, but it's not what it seemed." That's an example of a double entendre. The definition of a double entendre is a word or a phrase that has a double meaning or might be understood two different ways. Ice Spice is comparing her past relationship to the stitch in her jeans. She explains how her ex wasn't stitched together, and just like the jeans that they are sewn in with, and it wasn't what it seemed. So she uses the word seam like two pieces of fabric that are seamed together with the stitches. Do you get the double entendre there? All right, let's keep it going.
I got that ready, I'm keeping it clean. Fucking with niggas that's toting up beans.
Okay. Ice Spice says, I got that wetty, I'm keeping it clean. Fucking with niggas that's toting a beam. That's an example of personification there with the word wetty. The definition of personification is the act of giving human characteristics to something that's not human. So she's stating that her punani is wetty and she's keeping it clean. There's also an example of jargon there with the word beam. The definition of jargon is a dialect or dual language used by a particular group or people. Beam is actually the beam on a gun. You know, if you've watched movies or even if you're familiar with different types of guns, you're able to put an infrared beam on there. So she's saying that those are the type of guns that she messes with. Let's keep it going.
Love me, but what do you mean? Pretty ass fucking ain't like that I mean.
Okay. She's saying, that bar says, saying you love me, but what do you mean? Pretty as fuck, but he like that I mean. That's an example of irony. Irony is the use of words to convey a meaning that is opposite of its literal meaning. So she says she's pretty as fuck, but he likes that she's mean. So that's sort of like an opposite there, you know, not an oxymoron, but if you're pretty, most guys usually expect you to be nice. But in her case, she's stating that the guy that she's dating likes that she's mean. You get it? All right, let's keep it going.
Bitch, how you shitting me? If you ain't a body, can't sit with me. I swear that these bitches my mini-me's.
Okay. She said, bad as bitch is you ish me. If you ain't a baddie, you can't sit with me. I swear these bitches is my mini-me's. So, that's an example of a negative innuendo. An innuendo is the definition of an innuendo is remarks that suggest something negative, sexual, accidental, derogatory about a thing or person indirectly. So she's talking about the other that can't sit with her. So she's saying, let's go back to the bar. She said, bad as you shit. She said, bad as bitch out. You shit me. If you ain't a baddie, you can't sit with me. I swear these bitches all of my mini-me's. So yeah, those are the negative innuendos. She's talking about the other female rappers in the game. Now let's finish out this verse, man.
He wanna sex, niggas be dreaming. I'm from the X, niggas be scheming.
Okay. She says, he wanna sex, niggas be dreaming. I'm from the X, niggas be scheming. That's an example of parallelism there. The definition of parallelism is the balance of ideas within sentence structures to show the ideas have the same level of importance. So she said, niggas be dreaming, niggas be scheming. Do you see the parallelism? The parallelism there. All right, let's finish out this verse and then we're going to bring it on home.
Next, days not breathing. Thumb in a check, bloating demons. You thought I was feeling you? No. That nigga a munch. Nigga eat it, he ate it for lunch. Bitch on my body, I get what I want. Like, you thought I was feeling you?
Do you think she's gonna last in
nigga
the game?
Nigga eat it, he ate it for lunch. Bitch on my body, I get what I want. Like, bitch on my body, I get what I please. You know my body, I do it with
but we
ease.
shall see. This was a good starter. She has over 4 million to 5 million views on YouTube, and
how can
as
I link you when I got a shoe? Don't want your love, I just want the
her
blue.
booking price
my ass
increased.
while I'm doing my dance.
So,
She come
yeah.
on staring cause shorty a fan.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and
he mad as fuck, I won't give him a
hopefully
chance.
next week
we gonna do what I
we
say.
will come back
I swear I
and
be
break
stuck in my
down the
ways.
second verse
We
here,
gonna do what
which
I
you're
say.
hearing right now.
I swear I be stuck in my ways. You
Thanks,
thought I was
guys.
feeling you? That nigga a munch.
Peace.
Nigga eat it, he ate it for lunch. Bitch on my body, I get what I want. Like, you thought I was feeling you? That nigga a munch.